Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Welcome to Aether's Workshop, Starry Eyes, the podcast where you submit your submissions so you can get tips and tricks on how to improve your animations. I am Sprite Star, creator of Olympia. We have here Wishstream, creator of Astra, and Geek, creator of Malo. Yeah. Yeah.
Good. Go on. Finish the thing. Geek, creator of
Geek, mate. I will throw a brick. I will actually throw a brick. I will go outside and find a brick and throw it at my something. I'll throw it at something.
Oh my god.
And we got Geek creator of Malo. What's up, everybody? Alright, so we got some nice submissions that were sent in that we're still a little bit on the backlog, but it's fine. We gotta get to you guys one after another. And we're gonna start it off with a nice little jab combo. Well, just a normal wise.
Oh Lord. What the hell?
There's a lot going on
like
here.
Discord.
Yeah, it's not like this in Discord at all. Hold on, let me. Let me.
This is not like the other.
Let me do some quick editing magic over this. We're gonna go ahead and go over to the next submission though, and we'll just loop back around. And
Should be like.
Oh god.
So let's start off with this one as I fixed the last submission so we can't review it without doing some crazy crap. So we got Mud Slap. Very messy move, but you know what? No one's judging.
Yeah, look at that smiley face.
Does not do any damage in Pokemon and just does a status effect.
I don't remember.
If that's the case, then it's got to deal 0%. If not, then the character's fucking unplayable. Come on. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so unrelated. I threw in the submission in A-Sprite, and I don't know why it's bugged, but it looks fine on my end in A-Sprite.
Oh.
That's
What if
so.
you just resaved it?
Yeah, you don't need to re-export it.
Bruh, why is one of the colors in the palette the same color as the background? What?
Is that why? Is that why it's transferred?
I guess.
Anyway, you guys keep going. Do the thing. Do the thing.
It's quite.
Quagsire. Quagmire.
I don't
Good
see
joke, good
a
joke, good joke.
whole lot. What?
Is that a good joke?
Oh.
Giggity.
I don't see a whole lot wrong with this, although the range on it is absolutely tiny. It's really tiny. Like, that.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Game wise, yeah. It's extremely fine.
Hold on.
Maybe exaggerate the movement a little bit more.
We got a little bit of drop frames for a second.
Uh-oh. Stream's just
little
buffering
break.
for me.
Yeah, now we're in the green now. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
We've cleared the turbulence.
Yeah.
We have
Chat,
cleared
can
the
you hear
turbulence.
us?
Hi, chat. Hello.
Hey.
Hello, chat.
Can you hear me, Major? Can you hear me, ground control?
Mm.
Hi.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
What a productive stream this has been so far.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so like so I just as a good geek said that the range is absolute zero. Like
Yeah.
you're talking about, you know, like you have to like be standing right next to the character, and just lightly tapping them.
Yeah. Like, please, like, if you don't already have a solid grasp on the range of a move, or like just the range of moves in general, take a screenshot of the game, resize it by 50%, and then just like put it on a layer behind your character and see how that looks. Because this it's still in their idle hurt box. Like, nothing's gonna be there.
Do you want to get hit first? Yeah, that's a surefire way to get hit first.
It's like reverse disjoint.
Exactly. It's like even the range of like the head too.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, okay, the hitbox is exactly where the head is. I could just jab out of it. I could jab out of it before even getting hit.
The only way this would like work is if they had armor or something.
And even then, don't. That's not a good idea. Honestly,
So-
like, hey, Olympia does
They
not
put
have
on
armor.
special.
Oh, she doesn't have armor on a jab. Or F-tilt or whatever this animation is. Anyway. Yeah, it says F-tilt. Anyway, so, a little bit of advice that I would throw out for this, is simply just make the range longer by doing more with the mud. Because this is mud slap. So just make the mud do the damage.
Yeah.
You could push it a little further with like more body manipulation, like the lean in of the slap could be exaggerated a bit more. That would totally help this out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just big fucking, just like, take the mud and just have a giant.
Yeah, like that. Just do that.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Or if you're feeling fancy, you could just change that one arm, right, and make it like a huge frigging arc. Not just like, you know, just run in front of them. No, just make them like an actual like huge arcing slap, like you're right about to like smack someone in the face. Right?
Yeah, just make the arm like 6 feet long.
Yeah. It reminds me of like oh jeez. It reminds me of that one video called the Slap 2. Yeah.
I don't know what
Where
you're
the
talking
guy-
about.
Okay, so there's this video on YouTube called the Slap, right? The Slap 2, and basically it's just one guy in an advertisement where he slaps everyone.
I
like,
remember this one.
yeah, including the cops that come in.
Oh
and
yeah,
get
that
called.
video. Yeah.
Yeah, so just like see the arm movement. That it's just like a wide arcing slap on everyone.
Yeah.
It's not just you know, just a simple slap on the side. No, it's gonna be a huge arcing slap to someone.
Yeah.
It's fun to see. It does put the slap into mud slap.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's two ways you could use, like expanded the mud, or you could do the more exaggerated one that's a little bit more fun to see. Yay, yeah, hitboxes and you know slaps. There you go. It's slap.
Slap.
Yeah, and other than that, you actually got the animation down really well.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
with improvement, not really.
Oh, although the feet do jitter to the left for one frame.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
I
right
didn't
at the
know.
start of. Oop.
Oh yeah.
Now you can't not notice it anymore. I've ruined it forever.
We keep spotting things like this. It's just making like, oh hey, it's the perfect animation. So like, oh
Yeah.
yep,
Such is the life of a pixel artist.
Anyway, yeah. The what do you call this? Anchoring. Yeah, anchor your sprites.
Yeah, always pick like a spot and just literally the name implies it. Just anchor it down. It helps so much. Coming from someone that thought he can get past it without it. You can't. Spoilers. So. Okay. With a little bit of editing, home dude, Sack, I think that's who made Blake. Yeah, I don't know what went wrong with your file on how we got it. I don't know what
anyway.
I don't know what button that you pressed in whatever program that you made to do it the thing that it did, but I fixed it. So we can now go back to Blake. So here he is. He is actually moving the way that he's intended. It always does that. Always does that. Okay, but yeah, we got ourselves just a jab. A little more range than the 4-tilt we just looked at. So kudos to you. This is another.
Oh,
that's outdated. Yeah.
well, so is the robot. So shut up.
Hold on. I do remember seeing the updated version of this, but not in. You did update it and you did submit it. I just did not use that one. Okay, cool. We'll get back to that as. Yeah, we're just. Because something tells me I gotta re-edit that, so we're gonna figure out how that goes. Anyway, let's go for this animation.
We're gonna get to Blake.
Yeah, we're gonna get to him. Just gotta make sure everything works.
Yeah. All right.
So our favorite jester is back again for the very first time.
Wait.
Ooh. What?
Could you repeat that line, Spar?
What? Our favorite jester back at it again for the very first time. What about it?
I don't think whatever. Okay.
Anyway, we got ourselves a 3-hit jab combo. Another 3-hitter, everybody.
Nice.
But yeah.
Let's
Hey.
I'm looking at it. You guys
All
have
right.
Oh, Wish, go.
Go for it.
Huh? What?
Start us
You sounded
off.
like you were gonna.
I heard you ask a question. You go for it. It's
Oh.
a question.
It looks good. I really like the swipey effects on the brush, but the third hit has absolutely no impact. Which, I mean, if it's a really weak hit, then sure, that'll work, but I'm kind of assuming it's not a weak hit because it's a jab finisher. But yeah, there's like no recoil or anything. They literally just point there with no like effort
it
in
feels
it.
really stiff. Yeah.
The first two are fine. I don't think you need to change much about those. The third one, I would look into making the pose stronger. What about you guys?
I spaced out for a bit. Not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, okay, that's good.
I'm like, hold up. I'm looking at the animation. It's like I'm not thinking. Yeah.
So that's the jab combo. It's hypnotizer.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Yeah. What do you call this? Yeah. I don't know why it feels stiff. Right. It feels stiff. Like even with like the nice brush effect and the the entire body moving. Maybe because like it feels like it just snaps when you on the second jab going down.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys notice that? It feels like it's snappy right on that part. And then, yeah, other than what Geek said on the last part, like I feel it could be improved a lot more. Right? Like maybe a little bit more recoil on the head, maybe on the body, just shift it a bit. Maybe, what do you think, Spark?
I think about a lot of things. We're gonna start with the first thing. I do agree that this animation is a little bit on the stiff side, and that I think that's just not enough like rotation and anything but the hat. Like the jester cap is doing a lot of interesting motion here, right? Like it's turning with the body, right? And you see the jingle jangles moving which way and that way. But the rest of the body doesn't seem as like lively as the animation would lead on to be, I guess. It's very stationary, and for a character that seems very playful in its presentation, it's a lot of these movements here is almost robotic, and I think it's just like I don't think you got to the point where you're starting to rotate things around, because gotta remember this is the same guy that animated King's Briggs, so like this isn't like something. This isn't from an artist that doesn't know anything about animation. Like this guy knows what he's doing, but I think he's just not at that point to start fancifying it, and that's the exciting part for me personally, because this character is just brimming with like I don't want to say emotion. Personality would be the next best thing.
Like charm.
Yeah, like it's a jester for crying out loud. Like of course this guy is going to be doing like crazy things, and like that like playful nature is not showing up right now. Or even if it's going for that direction, a more sinister route, which is even more entertaining to like think about. But it's still not showing up in this animation. Again, it just sounds like me just saying a bunch of like buzzwords in the air, but like fucking if you need help with this shit, let me know. I will help you like make some like adjustments for this and keyframing and all this, because this I'm already like seeing what it could be, where like on the first swing when the smear is already done, like he's actually like starting to like lean a little bit farther back because he's just like carelessly moving his weight around, and then like on the downswing he like stomps down but leans forward into it with like the same like motion, and then probably like some kind of like playful pose on the third jab. Like it's just like there's a lot of ways that you can like experiment with bringing more of this personality out that it hasn't been explored yet, and I really want to see what direction that you are actually planning on taking this, because the idea of the animation is there, but like the charm of the animation isn't, if that makes any sense, as I ramble for about 10 minutes. I'm sorry, I've seen this jester on here a couple of times, and each time I've always had like the same like reaction, where it's like this character looks cool, right? This character looks interesting to play, but the personality isn't shining well enough. And if once that's there, it's chef's kiss. Mwah. Like,
oh yeah,
perfect. It just needs that.
Yeah. Takes time.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It does take time. But you're getting there. You're closer than most. Believe me.
And Spar actually just said everything that I just wanted to say. You just can't put it to words. Okay? Oh my god, personality. How important that is on something relatively small.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like to explain a little bit more on this before we like move over to Blake, because I fixed the sprite again. They updated Sprite because it still had the same issue with the glitch or whatever.
Nice.
But since you're working on such a small canvas, well, a small medium rather, like pixel art can only be so big unless you take it that big. In that case, good luck. You gotta convey as much as you can with it, otherwise it starts feeling like you're getting in the more cheaper route of animation. That's why with like a lot of like indie games that are coming out right now, they work with a small resolution, with a small like color palette and all these other things, with all these restrictions. But with those restrictions, they push the envelope on how these movements are being made, right? A good example for this, even though the sprites are a little taller than rivals, is Scott Pilgrim. Like, Scott Pilgrim has a lot of personality in almost everything that it has around it. Like, each character and, like, each object has some kind of, like, personality that shows from it just being in motion. And our job as an animator, specifically, is to show that personality through the motion, instead of having like an entire Google Doc and saying it's like, oh, this character, this is his backstory and all. We're looking at animation, and I'm a very big advocate on showing that side, because that is the most easily obtainable information when you're looking at a mod like this. Like, it does wonders, adding that extra layer to your animation. So yeah, do thing, and if you need help with it, just do combo.
Just draw it better.
Yeah, just draw good. Draw good again.
No, to be isolate that thing is such a horrible advice. It's like, it's good.
Just do it, but
God.
good.
Yeah, like, just do it, but again.
Oh,
Anyway,
also,
yeah.
also a little bit of a nitpick. I said this last time I talked about this character, but I think the bells on their shirt dress thing could convey momentum a lot better, because they're really just kind of sticking there right now.
Oh yeah, like sway the bells.
Yeah, like okay,
Great about.
like just having the bells move and stuff is a really good and cheap way to convey momentum, because you can just have them stay in the same pose except have the bells follow through on where they just moved.
Oh
And
yeah.
you kind of got a little bit of it there with the hat on top. Like, you can see the orange part of it's like swinging around like that. Do the same thing for the shirt and it's gonna feel great.
Yeah.
And if you're really lazy about it, you could just move the bells while the clothing in place, but just make sure it conveys that the bells are swaying.
Mm-hmm.
So
Follow
So
the
if you're
arc of
really
the
lazy
arm.
about
That's your cheat sheet. Like that arc that the hand is going with the brush. Follow that arc with the bells. Like when the arm
Yeah.
is going up, swing the bells towards that direction. Don't have it shoot
Yeah.
straight up. Just follow that like arcing motion towards that direction, like counterclockwise. Like
Yeah.
follow that movement, and then don't have it just like loop around, just like 2 frames up, 2 frames down. That's all you need.
Mm-hmm.
Or like 2 frames
Okay.
up, 1 frame down, or something like that.
all right,
Something.
I found out why I felt the like the end of the second hit was too stiff. Look at that transition of the brush
Yeah.
before the third
Oh.
hit. It just like
It just snaps. Yeah.
yeah,
It
exactly.
flips
It just
vertically.
snaps into like yeah.
Also,
How can you miss that, dude?
little dangly bits like the bells and stuff.
The jingle jangles.
Like yes, they're harder to animate because you have to take physics into account and whatever, but little dangly bits like that are just a very easy way to say, hey, I was too lazy to animate the entire body moving. This is the direction they have just moved.
Yeah. Like,
Because you can just put them on a 1-frame delay, and it's like, okay, that's where they're moving.
that's the actual like cheat sheet that I did with Olympia, because the convenient thing about a gem shining is that you can still have a hold frame, but it looks like it's in motion because the light reflecting off of the gems.
Oh, yeah.
I did that on accident, and I ran with it. Do that, but like with the jingle jangles.
Yeah.
I'm always gonna call them
That's
jingle
basically
jangles.
how- and that's basically how animation works anyway.
Yeah.
The light is being adjusted. That's why it feels like it's in motion, but it's not. Yeah, that's the tip for you guys.
Yeah.
Some animations just adjusting the lighting and the colors. So it looks like it's like moving in like a half a pixel speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think we.
you got a good little bit that you could go for. You got a couple of directions that you could take it. But if you wanna like rework those keyframes, maybe maybe you wanna put some extra oomph that's like taking the old Sprite Star route. Let me know. I'll help. I'll help you do it. Don't act like I won't.
Yeah,
Do it.
he'll take a look at your Aether file and be like, "What the fuck is this? Multiple layers?"
Yeah, oh my god, that actually happened to me recently too. Like, I shit you not, I helped Buttercup with fucking another animation that they were working on, and they gave me the A-Sprite file, and I looked at it, and it's like, what the fuck, 7 layers? I wanted to edit one of them, so I merged it all down, copied the layer, unmerged them, and pasted it back where I wanted it. Like, it was the most botched job in the world, but like, I needed to keep my sanity.
I don't understand you.
I play on proud mode. But anyway, let's go on to our next submission, which was actually our first submission again. Now it's the updated version of the Blake Jab. So, yeah, now he moving for,
Now, I think we should move in the new Blake Jab.
yeah,
pretty good.
give me a
Okay,
cool,
next Sprite.
yeah, for, I don't know, there's a little bit of some anchoring on the leg, you know? It's a little slidey because it's like the feet are moving outward, but that's just like moving the pixels where they need to be, and it'll be fine.
Is this like something in motion anyway? It's like when you do a jab, you're actually moving forward. If it's so, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like compared to like the old Blake that I've seen so far, like really, really old. Oh my god, you've improved a lot.
Yeah.
You improved a lot.
Oh yeah.
And I'd say you're doing a really good job. Right? Like somehow you got the texture right in the neck. That's a good thing. How do I say this? I'm terrible putting things to work sometimes.
Yeah.
It is amazing, right? Like it just does it right. I don't know.
Yeah, you did a good job.
It feels right. It's a step forward and it's a jab. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It's a step forward and it's a jab.
We covered 2 other submissions only to come back to this one and be like, you're good, dude.
And so, I'm so surprised that that's the only thing we could say.
Okay. The whole thing I noticed, it's not like a criticism or anything, but look at the top of his head. There's like a little shiny effect that really sells the motion. Like,
Oh shit!
it just like, yeah, it like swoops across his head. Like,
Yo, that's
Oh my
actually pretty
God.
sick.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's just small detail like that. Got me
Nice.
claps, dude.
Yeah, that's pretty good, man. Wow. I looked at these sprites to fix them for the podcast, and I didn't notice that. I had them in
Good job.
A sprite, and I didn't notice that. Holy hell. But yeah, good shit.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing a good job. I want to start this next submission because it's an animation that I hold very dear to my heart. Because it's Darkstalkers. So someone's making a stick figure version of Morgan in Rivals. I actually thought this was like the little behind the scenes things on how Sprite Star's brain works. I was immediately about to go into this like, haha, nice Morgan sprites. Don't think I could look past it, and I looked at the file name, and it's just Morgan. It's like, oh, it is Morgan. I was so ready to throw shade that I just didn't read the file name. Anyway, we got ourselves a jumping animation. Spoilers, I actually don't like Morgan's jumping animation for this exact reason. Morgan in Darkstalkers has a lot of like frames. Well, let's be fair, Darkstalkers as a whole has a lot of frames in it. So sometimes parts are like approaches are kind of cut a little bit. And Morgan's jump animation is one of those things that got cut. The rising animation and falling animation is the same thing. Her hair goes down when she's jumping up, and her hair goes up when she's falling down. That's the only difference. It's the same pose. Yeah, it's the same pose either way.
Want to draw it?
The time-saving thing.
Yeah. What's Darkstalkers? It's a Capcom arcade fighting game. In America, it was called Darkstalkers, but in Japan and I'm guessing in EU areas as well, or PAL regions, it was called Vampire Savior. It's just a Capcom fighting game that has a heavy emphasis on like horror films at the time. Like it just talked about like werewolves and succubus and vampires and all that good stuff. Yeah, Morgan's in Marvel vs. Capcom because they can never put another Darkstalkers character other than her and Felicia. Anyway, yeah, that's what this animation's from, and that's what the game is from. Yeah, I'm trying to look at this animation with not the burning hatred for the original animation because I really don't like Morgan's jump animation in that game. It's just that animation. I don't know what else to say to it.
Like I'd say some improvements, but then yeah, this is Morgan. Hold up.
Yeah,
How
like,
do I fix it? Because it's essentially wrong in the first place.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I guess your lingering hatred of the animation means they did it right.
It's not hard. I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not gonna discredit this guy's fucking work because I just got put on the spot. I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, this animation's totally an animation. That's all I got to say.
Okay, all right. So it's just me. It's like you got pretty much the feeling in the animation. I hate it. There's a small frame that once at the apex of the jump, it twitches.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It just like from that one stance, it's suddenly like the other leg disappears. Do you guys see that? It's like right there at the apex of the jump. It's just
It's moving back.
Oh, I see it. It's
Yeah.
only for a frame. Oh, that's weird.
Oh my god.
yeah, that's weird.
Oh,
Like,
I
at
see
least-
it.
I don't like this.
Zoom in, enhance.
Like the legs. Like look at it. It's a single frame. It's a single frame.
He's jumping off screen.
I wish I could just pause it. I wish I could just pause the frame so you guys could see what we're seeing. But it's
Yeah.
like it just disappears for a frame. Also, looking in the chat, kind of see why Spar dislikes it. Is really that expressive as jump animation. It just goes from one pose to the next and then back to the first. Yeah, no, that's how it is in the game. I can confirm Morgan does jump like this in game. Like,
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, if you really want us to, what do you call this? Improve it? I don't know if it is actually improved on, like, Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
well, I know it's not improved on 2 because they still just use those sprites. So it have to be.
Oh, yeah.
It has to be 3 and Infinite to improve on them, and I think they do. I'll have to look at the game again.
Yeah, I'd recommend something, but like, I'm not even sure if like they did Morgan's jump pose justice, or they just did it again, and it was like, I'm not willing to.
I would be the one guy, and I'm only gonna say this because this is a stick figure, and doing this with a stick figure would be a lot easier than doing it with a normal, like, fully shaded character, right?
Oh, yeah.
I want to see how well you think you know Morgan. I want you to no, hear me out. So, like, remember the whole personality thing I was talking about? Morgan has a very particular personality in the game. All of her moves, or at least her personality that shows in Marvel 3, Marvel Infinite, sometimes Marvel 2, depending on the intro. Like, she's portrayed a certain way. I want to see what you would perceive the falling animation for this, but like not just the rising frame, but something that shows off Morgan's personality while making a new pose. It's excessive, right? Like, you don't need to do that because you've gotten the one-to-one animation down. This is what she jumps like in Darkstalkers. But if you want to improve this animation and give it some more expression, despite it being a Spar moment, yeah. To give it more expression despite it being a stick figure, then come up with a falling pose. It can still just be one frame, right? You just need to like tweak the transition into falling a little bit. But it can just be one pose before she lands on the ground. And I just want to see what you think Morgan's new falling animation would be with just your knowledge with Morgan alone. And I know that's gonna be like, wait a minute, is that the song of my people? It is. You know, they say when two fighting game fans get into a room together, that theme starts playing like an anime intro. But yeah, it's brownie points at this point. Add more expression, give a new falling animation. I don't think anyone will say don't do that, because it's just going to be exciting to see it. At least I'll be excited for it. Also, we're gonna stop you in your tracks right now. This thing's shell shaded. It's more so like anti-aliased.
Yeah.
But it's light shading, and it does have that kind of pillowy effect. We don't want a repeat of Yo-Yo where everyone was like, shade Yo-Yo, like use the darker values to show the other side of the body that isn't in front of the camera or closest to the camera. That would help you out with showing depth and showing that this stick figure is actually kind of like, you know, a pseudo 3D thing. Like, having it with this shading is fine, but it can be heavily improved on by having proper lighting. So, yeah. That's all I gotta say about it.
Yeah.
You pointed out the thing that I was going to point out.
Damn it. Damn it. That's a spar moment.
Okay. Oh, yeah, it's a spar moment right there. Alright, let's go to the next one.
Yeah.
It's like, imagine like you, me, and like Geek just entering the room and then that's playing the back.
Hell yeah.
They were
Okay.
freaking dancing to the tune and like moving forward.
Alright. So we got, I'm guessing, a hornet? I don't know what kind of like insect this is. Geek, help me out.
That's from Bug Fables. That's a wasp.
Ah. Neat.
Wait, this is from Bug Fables?
Yes, it's Bug Fables.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Dude,
Because
nice.
like I haven't played that game. I haven't played that game.
I'm on like the final chapter, but I just kind of dropped it. I really need to finish it.
Wait. Anyway, yeah, you guys started off. You guys know Bug Fables more than me.
Actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and pass this over to Geek because
Bugs. This is pretty good. His animation in game is pretty minimal, as is everybody else's. So like, there isn't a whole lot of liveliness to be missing, but things kind of shift around with the and the rest of the body parts don't really account for that. Like, his shoulders bob up and down without much implying that his shoulders are actually moving up and down. Like, I like the mainly the V-shaped thing. I forget the name of that part of the shirt. Like, it kind of just stays still, which kind of makes it look like his shoulders just separate from the rest of his body. So if you just kind of like stretch those a little bit, it would look a lot better. And other than that, I think it's good. Although there is a bit of outline screwery, like where his body kind of meets the wings, especially evident on the arm on the left. It's just no outline, it's just kind of there. So I would look into adding an outline there without adding too much of a huge black spot to it.
yeah.
But other than that, it's pretty good. It's that guy, I forget his name, but he was kind of a bitch to fight.
Okay, my turn. Alright, so I love what you did with the shading, okay? It's very dynamic. Here's the thing, right? You're getting the breathing wrong, right? Just to add on what Geek said, you need to get that breathing right show not only on the shoulders but also on the chest. So shifting a little bit of the pixels up on the red area can help that to convey a lot. Well, other than that, there's also a timing issue right here, right? Like if you breathe, the head doesn't immediately go down like that, right? It's like you breathe in, and then just wait for a little bit. Then you could move the head down, because like other than that, it's just weird that when you're breathing, it's just like that's what it feels like right now, right? So you need to time it a little bit more into like a much more natural breathing. It's like from what I could see, it's them just trying to stand still and be intimidating, right? And I feel that you're trying to go for that smooth breathing motion, but at the same time, it's just that maybe you're focusing a little bit more on a timing issue. It's just a timing issue. It's not really, change everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely smooth this more. Like, Definitely, but that's like overkill already at this point. All right, that's my opinion. That's my take on it.
Nice.
What about you?
I am like very conflicted on the shading of this, and mainly because it's also like a timing thing. Onto that, I don't think someone would be that intimidating if I wouldn't think a wasp is that intimidating if their like neck goes up and down straight up and straight down as they're breathing, but also when their shoulders are like moving up and down at this weird like piston motion. Like, it's, I get it might be like very similar to how it is in Bug Fables. I haven't played the game yet, so I can't contest to which one's right and which one's wrong or not. But as Wish said, and Geek said, the breathing is kind of like not conveyed well. And moving the red area on the shirt will definitely help with that. But the thing is, you kind of had that idea anyway with how the shading is. Like, you're actually moving the shading on the shirt to compensate with the head rising and falling. But you didn't do anything with the actual chest that moves when you breathe. Especially with like, I don't know, it's a very weird choice to do. Maybe it's because like, well, I wouldn't know how to like move the pixels that way. The chest,
I think it's more of like the style thing from Bug Fables itself, though.
Yeah.
That. But in this case, it doesn't work. It's like now you're not outside of like a paper aesthetic.
Yeah, like the pixels in the paper aesthetic does not work well enough. And I think it's just like the use of outline or whatever. There's ways you could do it, obviously, because there's Paper Mario mod, but like it just doesn't work well for this, particularly for the breathing animation. In particular, the chest expands out when you breathe, right? Especially when you're taking like a deep breath, your chest will expand out, and so does your diaphragm and all that other like scientific shit. So like there's going to be movement in the chest, or at the very least a little bit of like movement in your back to like take in that air. Illustrating either the chest moving with like subpixelation, or changing like the posture ever so slightly to show the arc of the head moving back as it's rising up, because the back is arching backwards to like take in that breath. That would be a lot easier of a fix than, well, not easier. It would be way more entertaining of an animation, either one of those ways, than head just going up and down. It only works in the original game, but when it comes to making like really good pixel art in Rivals, don't be afraid to take creative liberties. Literally no one will yell at you about it. Look at Shovel Knight, look at Ori. Those were taking a lot of creative liberties. They just had them how they looked in game in mind. Like, Ori's the only character in like Rivals that looks the closest to the original game that they're from. Shovel Knight does not move the way that he does like half of the time in Shovel Knight. Like,
Oh yeah.
they have to like take a lot of creative liberties to get him to do half of the stuff that he does in game. So do not feel bad, do not feel ashamed for adding that extra like creative flair to your animations, because it does pay dividends. Like that's why people like me who've never played Shovel Knight see Shovel Knight in action and like, oh snap, I gotta play that character, he looks so cool. Like,
Yeah.
that's the reaction that you're looking for, and I'm not really getting that with this animation, but you can get there. It's a breathing animation. Yes, there's not a lot you can go with it, That is true, but you can still make it entertaining looking, even though it's just a breathing animation. Also, look at references. There are plenty of characters in fighting games and platformers and all that just breathe. Just like look at the chest area. Yeah, like you'd be surprised.
Breathe?
Yeah, no, right?
The protagonist of Guilty Gear. So bad guys,
Yeah.
just literally breathing. Okay.
I'm looking at
Also-
the. I'm actually looking at the source material. He kind of just moves on his legs. He doesn't like. His head doesn't move and his shoulders doesn't move. So there's creative liberties taken here, but
Yeah.
like, kind of the wrong. Like it's still just like a bad execution of it. I wouldn't say it's poor, because you actually make that attempt, and it the idea of the breathing is there. It's not like, oh, I don't know what I'm looking at. Like, you've made the attempt. It's just that, like, I guess trying to visualize it is the difficult part, which, honestly, same. But, like, still.
Yeah.
Just need to give this a second pass, that's all.
One thing I noticed with all of Bug Fables' little like idle bounces is they shift everything up to the knees, which kind of gives the kind of impression that they're bending their knees, which is that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
You don't need to explain a whole lot about it, and that's not really happening on the sprite we're seeing here. Like, his knees don't really move. It's mostly working in the shoulders, which has a whole different feel to it.
Yeah. But, yeah,
But yeah,
give a little bit of advice, and, yeah.
I'm sorry to point this out. By the way, outline disappears on the shoulders.
Yeah. Shoulder
Yeah.
pads.
Also,
Shoulder pad.
on the wing on the right where it meets his leg, there's no outline there either.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and also,
Part of his thigh
Just the
turns into
contrast.
his fucking stinger.
oh my god. Yeah, I didn't fix there. Also, one more noticeable change that I would do here, change the contrast. The shade part and the color part isn't that obvious right now.
Oh, yeah.
And like when you're doing some pixel animation and no one notices that, like even like when I went on here, I didn't notice the shading first. You gotta fix that, dude. You have to.
The shading
Set the
on like
contrast
I don't want to say it's skin because it's a bug, but like the brown area is fine, right? And the black and dark gray is fine. It's very muddy on the red. Like, just make the shade darker. Like, it's fine. You can do that. If it looks more visually striking to up the contrast in the color, go for it. Like, it's fine. But, yeah. I will say this, as a bit of praise, your, like, manipulation of, like, shading, I actually really like.
Yeah,
Like, you're
it's
doing
good, like
it.
some pixel.
Yeah, you're doing it. You're doing like a semi-advanced technique with this, because this is like subpixelation, like this subpixel animation. But like, the reason why we're bringing all this up is that you're kind of putting that like resource in the wrong area, which it kind of just happens like that. But at least now we have you. We are telling you this before you get a little too far, or maybe you have. It's been a while since you've submitted this submission, but you can still use that like shading manipulation. But keep in mind the context of the animation, is what I'm saying.
Yep.
On the
Yeah.
exoskeleton, yeah. All right, let's
The chitin.
yeah. Let's go over to our next animation, which is from Undertale. It is Undyne.
Sands! Oh wait, no, shit.
Wrong one.
Yeah. Jiggly jig. Jiggly. And jiggly jiggly jig.
You
Jiggly
alright?
jiggly. Jiggly jiggly jig. Arms shrink into the armor.
Yeah. It's-
They move into the armor. They're not actually moving the arms. They're just separated layers.
Granted, I think that's how it worked in Undertale as well, but that's no excuse. Undertale is not very well animated.
I mean, yeah, it's fair. Like, I don't have any criticism on this, if that's what you're aiming for, right? Except, I see the leg movement. So you are willing to bend. Okay? Don't laze around with the arms. The head I could excuse because that's sometimes how it works.
Yep.
Okay? Move the arms. That's all. That's all I could give you. Because like, you know what? I could gush about the shading on this. It's so good, right? Like you did Undying Justice. Like seriously, you did it really well. You even got like, you somehow got the facial features and a small amount of sprites, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, you even got like the shadow shade over the eye, like she does in
yeah.
game. That's really good.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's an eye patch.
Is it?
It's an eye
It's an eye
patch.
patch.
Swear to
Yeah,
God.
it's an eye patch. Also, I criticize the hair, but like,
It's
knowing
totally an eye
Undyne
patch,
is
God damn
probably
it.
always.
It
I'd
doesn't
criticize the hair.
show well because like in the sprite there's not like the patch, like there's not like the strap that holds the eye
Yeah, it's in
patch
the
up.
talking box. It's in
Like-
the talking box.
Yeah, that's not there. Like at that, please. That's why I thought it was like the shadow, like the dramatic shadow, which I fucking love, by the way. But like that's not the case that's happening here.
Anyway, yeah, the advice I'm saying applies to both arms, by the way. Don't laze around on that.
Yeah.
Or at least, like, do it in a hacky way. It's like, what do you call this? You could separate, like, the lower part of the arm and then just redraw the upper part of the arm. That works too. Also, I criticize the hair. I'm gonna keep saying that, right? I criticize the hair, but it's undyed. There's always wind constantly blowing on her. Okay?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I heard that.
Yeah. My main advice would be keep track of where joints are and don't just let things slide around because it's kind of noticeable here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all guys said what I was gonna say. Like, I feel like I shouldn't ramble for 45 minutes in an hour-long stream. So I'm just gonna say, you guys did it. Good job, everybody. It was team effort.
Also, yeah. Yeah. They pretty much use the eye patch as dramatic shadow too,
Yeah.
which is great. It's like a dual purpose kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, you actually got pretty much most of it really good. It's just the arm. Yeah.
Just touch up on the arms and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, let's move
What
over
is next?
to our
Alright.
our last submission,
So
and
don't-
what's up?
Don't look at the title, guys. All right. Don't look at the title of the stream. There's something weird about it.
What did you do?
All right.
Well, I don't see anything weird about it.
Okay. All right. Let's go to
Oh.
the last submission over here.
Yeah. Let's go over to this animation. It is an up tilt. It's got some range.
Yeah, I like it.
I like it. So cheap. I mean, what?
Wow, didn't even try to like play around with it. Just...
Nah, it depends on the character, but I love the character already.
yeah.
It's cute.
It's
If it
cute.
is a she. Pretty sure. I need to ask, but they. Okay, they're cute.
Also, Wish
I'll just
in
go with they.
Wish in the artwork is holding a star plush, not a Starfy. But honestly, that's also a really good idea. It's a he.
Maybe
We got in the
it's
chat.
Starfy, you just can't see the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could have been Starfy, but yeah, I'm just holding a star. I actually have the pillow in my room right now.
Oh my god, that's
Dude,
You know,
nice.
even though like didn't know that I had a star pillow. Yeah, I love stars.
I put stars everywhere. Look at him. Star, 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 star. Star on the can. I have one. It's not
Look
the right.
outside, star. Wait, actually, it's cloudy outside.
But yeah, honestly, this is a pretty solid animation.
I think the pose should be. It could be a little stronger, like
Yeah.
especially on the follow through, like right after that, like active and follow through. And I think the specifics of that is don't make their offhand flop around like that. Like make that contribute to them balancing. Like probably you could probably just get away with have it just like a kind of diagonal up, just
Mhm.
like just 30 degrees. Just have it extended out there to keep balance and
Yeah.
also look cool.
Not gonna lie, I'm prone to that mistake too sometimes.
Yeah.
It's an easy trap to land in.
Because if you just have a part flopping around like that, then it kind of implies they aren't really putting a whole lot of effort into it. They aren't putting their back into it.
Yeah. And
That or they're a type of character that's what do you call this? That has smooth motion more important than putting effort.
if that was the case, then it would be a little bit more of a flourish at the end, in my opinion. Like there's a little bit of a slowdown after the swing, so there's like there's grounds for that, but like there isn't. It just snaps back to normal, which I guess that's just something you need to worry about after that. Is like making some frames to go back into idle better. What? But stop. Fucking. I don't know. This animation is pretty appealing, in my opinion. Even with the arm flop, the arm flop doing not the arm flop would make it a lot better. But that's just like one part of the motion. Now I'm like trying to think on what else I would say. You know what I need? What I would want? The motion of the head being portrayed a little better, because it just, what I'm seeing right now is he's looking forward, right? Arm goes down to start the swing. It goes up. He's still looking forward. Goes up, still looking forward. Goes up, looks straight up. Goes back down, still looking up for like a frame. Goes back down, immediately snaps to the left, and goes back down. There's no rotation on where the move is going, or at least there's nothing like smoothing it down until like the ending frames where the staff is finally slowing down to a stop, which again is a good touch, but the head is not really following that motion well.
Is it bad I didn't pick up on any of these?
Couldn't figure out how to draw the head diagonally up at the time. It would be easy to update it now that I figured that out. Honestly, since the arm is going to be in the way anyway, just eyeball it. Like, this is not a 3D model. No one's going to turn it the other way around. It's like, oh, you messed it up. No. Like, you could literally just have it be like a blob with an outline around it for a frame with like a little bit of shading on it, and no one will be the wiser. Like, just like guesstimate it. And if like parts of it doesn't look right, then just move some pixels around. It'll look right. But yeah, I don't see anything else that's really wrong with it. I do like the tail motion. The tail motion is great.
Oh yeah.
Man, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty solid even with the suggestions that were thrown out for you to take. So yeah, we do not have any more submissions for this podcast, and we're already an hour past.
Were you caught up?
Not caught up particularly. We had. If I continued on, then we would have gotten another Morgan submission, if I remember correctly. So I kind of like stopped it there. So we'll just like pick up on the next one on a later date, earlier time. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, that will be all for this podcast.
Cool.
Thank you everybody for joining in the podcast. Glad you guys submitted it. Thank you for being patient as we're starting to get caught up on all this stuff. For more submissions and all that stuff, you know where to find us. If you need help getting some further information on the advice that we've given, then just use the modding, whatever the hell we call it now in the server tab, and we'll help you out. But yeah.
I was purposely putting it silent there. Right? Thanks everybody. It's been great. Yeah. Closing.
You doing anything? Uh-oh.
Looks around nervously.
What?
Alright, remember to dive away and reach your dreams, everybody. Keep it simple, guys. Keep it simple.
Hoopla, everybody.